Crying over the old man's corpse. She'll soon have another one to cry over. Yours. Meet the butcher.
Fresh meat.
Hello and welcome to my Diablo guide thing. I was going to do two separate videos, one for Nightmare and one for Hell, and you know what, I kind of couldn't be bothered because Hell's the more interesting one. Nightmare kind of effectively does pretty much the same stuff that it does on normal, just everything hits a little bit harder. There's not a massive difference with the fight on Hell mode, except you'll notice that things tend to happen a lot more often, and a lot, you know, they're quite often together as well. But anyway, let me talk through some of the basics for someone that's coming to this new. Obviously the floor lights up, that's, you know, a given, and obviously if you stand in the fire you die in the fire. Couple of other abilities that he has. He's got a grip, which is a kind of he shoots out this kind of like grapple gun type thing, and if he's stood in fire, he can pull you into it, so that's not particularly good obviously. And you can avoid it if you try and strafe a little bit, so don't run directly away from him with your back to him. Try and run a little bit to the side, left or right, if you're avoiding like a fire patch or something. Really helps. You hardly ever get gripped, and there is, I think, an achievement as far as I remember for not getting gripped at all in this fight, so although you might want to do that one on normal. But anyway, another thing that he does is a kind of a charge, but it's really easy to see that. He kind of shoots out a kind of fire flame breath, there it is there, and he charges, and you can easily avoid it. I mean, if you get hit by that, then, you know, it's either because you took your eye off the ball briefly, or you're half asleep or something. A couple of other things you should notice in the Hell mode in particular: the two health pot things that you see, the cauldrons left and right, and I'm going to one now. They kind of respawn quite quickly in Hell mode, which is really cool. I don't remember them respawning quite as quickly in Nightmare, and I didn't even use them in normal mode, so I can't really say for that. But I've jumped the video on just a little bit, just to kind of give you an idea of a little bit later in the fight. Now you see he's down to, like, you know, roughly quarter health, and I'm having to move a lot. Now look at the floor, watch the floor, it's just all over the place, and I'm having to really make some quite tough decisions whether I try and run through two patches to get to the safety, or whether I take that health cauldron first. If you're obviously going to have some health potions on you, or at least you should do generally, try not to use them unless you really have to. Use these cauldrons as much as possible. Try not to use them both one after the other, obviously, so there's always one up. You can normally find some way to get there. I've heard some bits and bobs to do with doing this on ranged, as a ranged class. Now obviously, you know, I'm playing a barbarian here, and so I can mostly talk for melee classes, like being able to stand on the edge of a line there so you don't get hit by the fire. You can stand really close to the edge of the line, you won't use his grapple. But I had to ask a couple of people for the range stuff, so you'll have to forgive me. Basically they said that they needed to fire off a few things and then kind of move sideways so they didn't get gripped too much. The companion they tended to use was obviously, or generally it was the Templar that had been spec'd into tanking, so obviously that's a good thing. That you're not getting the direct damage, and well, you are a little bit here and there, but having to keep moving a lot of the time, whereas, you know, as you can see from a melee class, you can pretty much stand toe to toe. You don't really have to move all that much. Oh, I made a mistake there and got pulled into the fire. I mean, basically, it's not too bad. It's completely doable. It's not like a real headache. The one thing you have to remember, regardless of what kind of class you are, is that you have to kind of keep moving all the time. You really kind of got to be prepared to move. Now you see that he's really low here, but I'm trying to make sure that I stay alive. I've got really hit badly there, so I'm going off to get the health pool. Quick, get out. There we go. Oh, I got an achievement. Yay. But yeah, you've got to kind of be prepared to move. Don't rush the fight. Just take your time. Stay safe and move out of trouble. You know, get out of the fire. You know, the kind of obvious stuff. It's really not that bad. But if you go in there thinking, right, I'm going to do the same as I do when I'm questing and just stand there and pummel him, then you'll probably be dead very quickly. He does hit very hard. There is a lot of hatred to be had here. So yeah, try and be flexible as much as you can. Anyway, I'll let you watch the end of this fight, and yeah, good luck with the fight, and hope you get some nice loot. See you next time. Bye.